Football 93, proudly brought to you by Mitsubishi Motors, BP Australia, Carlton and United Breweries, Telecom Australia, McDonald's, Nike, ANZ Australia, Commonwealth Bank, RACB Car Insurance, Vulcan and Mitre 10. In 1975, Ron Barassi coached North Melbourne to their first premiership. Today, he'll be hoping his new charges can severely dent North's premiership aspirations for 1993. The Roos, however, will be keen to keep winning in the lead-up to their first finals berth in 6 years. It's Sydney versus North Melbourne on AFL Live.
Summer-like conditions in Sydney. A very good afternoon, everyone, from the Sydney Cricket Ground, and welcome to the Swans' last home game at the SCG for season 1993. And I guess in one way it's rather appropriate too, because Ron Barassi at the helm goes up against a side that he guided to its first premiership back in 1975. North Melbourne, of course, have ideas today as they come out onto the SCG, which again looks fairly well manicured. They have ideas of finishing on top of the ladder, and indeed they can do that if they win here today, and of course if they win their remaining match next week. The Roos currently in second position on the ladder with 48 points, and as I said, if they win today and win next week, they will finish on top spot. Recently they lost a couple of matches. Wayne Carey, their captain, returned to the North Melbourne lineup against Richmond last week, and immediately he made his presence felt, with the Kangaroos returning to the winning list after 2 losses, while Carey was absent through injury. Of course, he makes a great deal of difference to the side, and in the eyes of many, should win the Brownlow medal this year. When they last met, that was in round 6. North Melbourne won by 124 points. It was their highest ever score against Sydney. They have won their last 6 games against the Swans, and in fact they haven't lost at the SCG since 1988. Well, Ross Glendinning and Dennis Cometti, have the Roos improved since Barassi took over?
Well, good afternoon, Pete. I guess it's a question of degree, is Rice. When I've seen them play, they have been harder, I think fitter as well. I saw them against Essendon, they played well, but I mean, they're no world beaters still, are they?
No, well, I saw them last week, Dennis, and I thought they were much better than other games I have seen them in. And some players have improved in areas, but he's still not getting the consistency from some of his better players that he needs to keep them at a better level. And if we look at the Sydney side there, Bayes played a fullback last week. He needs to be the leader in that area. Scotty Waters, they welcome him back into the side. He's been very good this season since crossing from the Eagles. Minton Connell last week, 8 goals. They would need that effort again. Osborne needs to be better. And Stafford I was impressed with in the ruck.
And what about North? Well, back on track. Carey back last week. Rock booted 4 goals, I guess. A question mark over Adrian McAdam now. They need more from him. Last time these two sides played, he was playing his second game. He booted 10 goals, but he's experienced something of a drought in recent weeks.
OK, and of course John Blakey this afternoon playing his 150th senior game. Of course, he played many of those with Fitzroy. One of the matches being played today, the penultimate round of season 1993. That's at the Melbourne Cricket Ground between Melbourne and Richmond. And we'll be keeping you up to date with progress scores and during the course of the afternoon. And of course, many viewers taking a replay of that game at the conclusion of our SCG telecast. And so when the scores come up, or prior to that, we'll be asking you to look away if you don't wish to see the score. A great day here in Sydney. We'll check the weather when we return to the SCG after this. First quarter from the SCG. Can the Swans salvage something against one of the premiership favourites? Lewis, first kick of the match up towards half forward. McRae knocks the ball further forward. Kelly will look for someone going past. Lawson, and just touched off the hands of Minton Connell, and through for the first behind.
It was a real tumbler of a kick, Pete. I mean, he does get up a fair head of steam, Jamie Lawson. If he had just steadied a little, the kick would have been better.
Yes, he was well within kicking distance. So Allison now towards Stevens. Great success story this year, him. Ramiro to this star-studded North Melbourne forward line. Longmire, Carey. Will we see McAdam in this play? Not this time. Rock. They certainly missed him when he was out injured. Lawson covering plenty of territory early. The Swans just can't afford to give a start today. Osborne, what's he doing down there, you'd ask the question. Where is he playing, Ross?
He's starting up half-forward flank, so he's just come right down the ground.
Has he what? So boundary throw in. Crocker up high. Can't clear the pack with the punch. German might have taken the opponent a little bit too high. Umpire elects to let it go. A bit of a scramble. McMahon, a quick kick out of the pack to the advantage of his side, only by about 10 to 15 metres. And Scholl takes the ball over the boundary line for a throw-in close to the centre wing position on the member stand side.
Craig Scholl is the player picking up Richard Osborne.
The Swans bench on what is a terrific day. Schenko directs it down. Stevens didn't have the ball. Held to him, says the umpire. So it was in there somewhere. A bounce forward of the wing to North. In front of our commentary position. Not a particularly good bounce. Opportunity for Lewis. He goes to ground, taken high. He'll get the free kick. Dale Lewis has tried hard all season long. He's at right half back. Towards half forward. Not a particularly good kick. Schwass has got it now. It was lazy by Lewis. McRae gets it back. Sweeping hand pass. This is Bayes inside the centre square. Sets it up for Mitten Connell. Mitten Connell goes back. Great work by Stafford off the ball.
Yes, it certainly was that. He gave Minton Connell every chance. And I just wonder whether Dean McRae, a former North Melbourne player, actually called Wayne Schwass for a handball then, because the ball came pretty quickly to him.
I remember that, boys.
Nice little play, that.
So Minton Connell, who's been terrific in recent weeks. 8 goals last week. 8 the previous week. Sharp angle. This for a 7-point lead. They've got it. He's got it.
Simon Minton Connell's 33rd goal of the year.
And here we just see this interception here by Schwass initially, then a quick handball. You could have sworn there that McRae called for the footy, even though McAdam was behind him. And Bayes, as usual, a very long kick to find Minton Connell, and Stafford, good work off the footy.
And great kick for goal, as it turned out. And Dennis pointed out they're not good starters, the Sydney Swans. Well, today, so far at least, they've got up to a better start than they have in many of their previous matches. Schwass knocks it to Rose. Good tackle, Stevens. Ball spills free. Chance for Schwass again. McRae goes down in the tackle. Well, McAdam, that was just about a throw. Adelson. Longmire. Werner does well. No options there for him except the boundary line, and he takes that. End result of which is going to be a throw in 60 metres from North Melbourne's goal. This quarter, kicking to the left, which is the Bradman stand end of the SCG. Carey goes up. Ramiro and Higgins. With that right knee pretty heavily bandaged after the knee operation he had. About a 4 or 5 inch scar on it. He seems to be moving well now. Just a lot of football through it, of course. Son a problem at this time of the day with these throw-ins. Carey for Rock. Well, gee, did Rock pull up a little gingerly there?
On a hamstring,
I think he has. McRae, gee, that's bad news for North. Let's hope it's not too serious. If there's any doubt, he'll be taken straight off. Schwass from Scholl. Great attempt to mark down there. Kelly finally picks up the crumbs. That was Mooney. He's got another chance here, but Crocker runs into trouble through McRae. Now it's Laidley. Werner will go the punch. He does. And this is young McMahon.
Goes in very short. Was it 10? Well, he marked it and walked across the boundary line to go back and take his kick. Rock seems to be moving okay now. I think Kelly Conn, the umpire there. The kick goes around the outer side. Schenko is up, knocked away by Rose. This is Stevens, back across his body. Out comes Carey, hands to it, couldn't hang on. Ramiro from 40, goal.
Sydney by a point. Rock still on the ground, but just looking at him through the glasses looks a little bit proppy still. However, if there's any doubt, I dare say he'd come off. Still flexing that leg. Be a real blow for North, so close to the finals, to do a hamstring, wouldn't it?
Yes, he only just come back from injury too, Pete.
Yeah. Rose up high. Lewis runs into a brick wall down there, not going anywhere. And so another stalemate. It will be yet another bounce. Big Alex falls over.
Wind sprung up.
Need to be a fair wind. Gets off the ground pretty well. Rose. Looping hand pass. Sydney player taken high. Dale Lewis. The advantage is paid. Minton Connell. Have to get back quickly. He does. Will he go off the ground? Tries to paddle it forward. Archer. Good defence. Snapshot by Bryce against his old club. Oh, what a goal! Terrific goal from Bryce. What a shot. Well, it'll take a bit of beating for Gover today. That 2-1 to 1 goal.
Well, he kicked a couple of great goals last Friday night. In fact, he kicked 3 in the second quarter. And this equals and even betters one of those from Friday night. Clever stuff. Left footer that he is. He has some good skill there. Good work by Minton Connell to keep the ball around. That's a great kick. In fact, Craig Scholl is now picking him up. John Blake did the job in his 150th game on Osborne. Yes, I dare say Rock might be coming off for Pyman to come on.
There's Rock in the foreground. Well, half of him. There's the bounce. One down by Ashenko. McAdam out of the congestion. A high kick. It floats down towards the 50. Over the top, Bayes got a fist on it. Carey's hand pass was charged down. Well played by Bayes. Osborne is in there. Grabs it. Smothered by McAdam. It spills out wide. Opportunity for Allison. Wants his left side. Cost him dearly. Play on's the call. And away comes Kelly. Running through half-back. Probing kick down towards the attacking 50 for his team. Scholl so good in defence all season long. Breaks away again. Back towards the wing. It was ill-directed. Lewis has it. Some indecision. Needs to get rid of it now. Lost it. Well played by Stevens. This is Pyman. Hurried kick towards the 50. Roberts is up in front. It was knocked away there by Mooney. Coming through was Crocker. He was pushed in the back and he'll get a free kick. Darren Crocker just outside the 50. Goes for distance. Longmire in best position. Was held surely. No free kick. And away comes Brunton. He goes close to the boundary line. It pitches out of bounds and will be thrown in. Well, I could have sworn I saw a jumper being held down there.
Yes, I'd have to agree there. Umpires today, Hayden Kennedy and Gavin Dorr, as Anthony Rock gets some treatment for that hamstring.
Rotten luck after being injured against the Brisbane Bears. He's fought back. Great game last week. And in trouble again as Carey paddles it towards the boundary line. It's out of bounds.
Yes, hammies can take a while too. Just a strain though. They've done the right thing by taking him off early. Boundary throw and left half forward for North. Roberts and Mooney. Plenty of North players at the fall of the ball. Ramiro is there. Brunton, Pyman, and out of bounds again. Almost the identical spots. Rod Carter, what's the news on Anthony Rock?
He has a strained left hamstring. We're not quite sure how severe it is. They're treating him on the boundary and they hope that he'll be back into the game.
Okay, thanks, Rocket. Sydney free kick going to Kelly. Low trajectory pass. Schwass intercepting beautifully. Just a little short of left half forward. Kicks into the forward pocket. Werner should be able to mark. He's Longmire's opponent at the moment. Just pointing to the umpire and where Peter German is standing. Werner from right back pocket. Oh, he's kicked it straight in the Ashengo direction. Should have marked that. Osborne, quick hand pass. High tackle. That was on Paul Bryce. And the ball rebounding out of bounds. It will be a throw-in. Bryce kicking that miraculous goal only a couple of minutes back.
Sydney lead by 7 points. Thrown in. Lewis going nowhere. Crocker hits it down. McMahon's high kick down towards half forward. Over the top, fisted away down there by Ross Smith towards the boundary. It runs out of bounds. So the start we were talking about for Sydney so far has been there. They've got a reasonable start, bearing in mind North booted 71 points in the first term back in round 6 and finished the day with 229, 35-19. Quite remarkable. Longmire got 9 that day. McAdam 10. Here's Schwass. Ball behind him though. Cresswell sockers it inside the attacking 50 for the Swans. Archer did well to win front position, slapped it away. Romero taken high, and he'll get the free kick. Romero plays on. Laidley, looping hand pass. McAdam obviously pushed up the ground this afternoon. Boots it towards the wing. Waters is out there. Got a very unfavourable bounce. Carey at close quarters to Stevens. High kick inside the 50. Here comes Longmire, full-chested, storming up the ground. Marks just inside the 50. Will go for distance. Good-looking kick, marvellous kick, goal.
So back to the centre, John Longmire kicking his 71st goal for the year, 71-29. He's amassed great accuracy, Osborne, but it's going to be a free kick to North Melbourne, and the recipient's going to be Peter German. Carey, body strength to get rid of Bays, and he won't have any trouble kicking the distance from there. Carey's kicked 56 goals for the year. This should be 57. One of the Brownlow medal favourites. Had a great first part to the year. Just a couple of games through injury. When he and Anthony Rock were on the sidelines, it is true, North Melbourne did struggle. Goal. North in front. So Wayne Carey kicking his first. Romero, Carey and Longmire, the goal kickers for the Roos, and they lead by 5 points.
And that mark exemplifies how he has often taken a mark this season, using his body strength and guile just to get his opponent out of the way. And Mark Bay's not an easy player to move off the footy. And as usual, he finishes off very well as Wayne Carey.
So North lead it by 5 points, just over 13.5 minutes till quarter time. Gavin Rose confronts Alex Zyshenko and wins. Pyman grabbed by Osborne. It's wedged between the pair of them, and we'll have a bounce. Alongside the centre circle on a glorious day here in Sydney. Plenty of players around the ball. Bad bounce. I like that at Hawthorn. Blakey missed it. Opportunity for Higgins, dragged off it. Ross Smith kicks it out wide. Osborne leads in the race. Watch out for the fence about here. Osborne pushed across the boundary line, and it will be thrown in.
It's interesting with that bounce too, Dennis. I mean, that's part of our game, the unpredictability of the bounce of the ball. Why throw it up?
I agree. So a throw in. Right half forward for the Swans now. Zyshenko's in front. Rose from behind. Neal an opportunity. Couldn't control it. McRae against the flow. Smith is in there. It spills back to McRae. He's been busy. The hand pass intercepted by Laidley. Tackled by Neal. Overrun by Osborne. Back comes Laidley at close quarters. Tries to get it to Smith. He missed it. McRae's in there. Osborne's got it now. It ricocheted off Blakey. Osborne kicks it directly out of bounds on the full near the 50.
There's two former Fitzroy teammates there. And Blakey, good pressure.
Wayne Schwartz to take the free kick just up from the back pocket. I guess one of the reasons Osborne may have discarded the head gear today is the temperature. It's pretty warm wearing that around all day. Free kick from the back going North Melbourne's way. They're doing well with the free kick so far. 2 to Sydney and 4 to North now. Big Alex. Well bandaged, you'd suggest. Kickers to half forward. Carey misjudged it badly. Waters, who's done pretty well since transferring from the West Coast Eagles. Rose, speaking of West Australians. Long hand pass up towards right half forward. Cresswell, centering kick from him. Kicks right on 50, badly directed. And Scholl takes the mark. Straight down the corridor from him. Kelly in front. Takes the mark over the top of his teammate Lewis. Bad hand pass. And McAdam will stare at Schwartz's caught. Another chance for Lewis. And the mark taken by Bryce. Well, they did well to get out of that, Sydney. A couple of mistakes at midfield. Could have been a costly turnover. As it was, they had the ball on their half-forward line.
It was a low-key advantage, I'll say that.
My word.
Okay. The umpire's a master of understatement.
Paul Bryce for his second. Looks all right from here.
So the Swans back in front. Seesawing affair. Early going here at the SCG.
Sloss been taken off, Dennis, for that indiscriminate effort against Lawson, I would suggest.
Replaced by the 19th man. Up goes Ashenko. Cresswell, a hurried kick into the congestion. Ashenko slaps it out. Waters, the hand pass taken by German. Up he comes again like a cork in the ocean. German. The base of that is Kelly. And a whistle. Kelly moving rather gingerly.
Somebody fell on him.
Ron Barassi on the far. Another wayward bounce. Ashenko goes up, smashes it about 20 metres. Taken by Lawson. Swung off the ball down there. Missing it was Ramiro. Eventually it comes towards Mooney. Ashenko did well against the flow to Stevens. Man on down the ground is Roberts. But his fingertips to it. Goes back and gets it. Lines up goal and sneaks it through. North get their fourth. They're 4 goals straight. Sydney are 3-1.
Yes, he's been a very handy player as Foss comes back onto the ground. He spent the last couple of minutes on the phone to Dennis Pagan, obviously getting a very stern message. So Pyman is off, and Stevens, who's been a terrific player all season in a tagging role, was the player to move the ball forward. And Roberts, who's no stranger to this ground, kicks one of his very good goals for the season.
So goals are plenty in the first quarter. 4 to North and 3 to Sydney. 19 players, 24. Stevens runs at it. Got to be a juggle. And Sydney finally get clear. Ball driven away up towards half forward from McMahon. And Minton Connell leading out well. Well, he's been in great form of late. He's kicked one today.
Yes, and Gavin McMahon, the player who kicked that ball forward, is a very likely prospect. Good, strong-looking cut of a lad.
Only a teenager.
Yes, played in the New South Wales Teal Cup side in 1991.
The goal that Minton Connell did kick today was from a similar angle, but a little bit closer in. Coming away at the last minute. A fade in golfing terminology, and one behind. To Simon Minton Connell, 1-1 his tally, 3-2 to 4 goals. So 5 effective scoring shots to 4, but Sydney trailing by 4 points.
It's like Wayne Swash now has got the job of picking up Kelly, with Anthony Stevens picking up Scotty Waters.
9 minutes left in the first quarter, and Ross Smith to kick in, and there's a free kick off the ball. It's going North Melbourne's way.
Yeah, for holding on, Pete.
And Mann is going to take it. He gets the hand pass over to Laidley.
Laidley down towards half forward, a very high kick, and why not? Carries the target. It was fisted away by Bays. Allison gets it to Crocker. Crocker across his body. In the road, Brunton. Brunton swings it out wide, intended for Rose, who's trying to run off Ashenko. Good success that time. More mobile. Here's Kelly again, forward of half-back. Chip pass. Waters into open space. Had 40 games for the West Coast Eagles. A very valuable pickup this season for the Swans inside the 50. Martin did well, although Minton Connell has it. He likes this sort of shot. He hits the post. You can see he sets himself for that one. Almost bent it back far enough.
Yes, and Glenn Archer is the player who has the job on Minton Connell, and Archer's picked up a number of the key forwards in the opposition sides, as has Ben Hart with Adelaide. Short player, but plays quite tall, as they say.
Smith goes very wide for Mann, fisted away by Stafford, who goes on to mark the ball. Cresswell's got it now inside the 50. Vacant goal square. The kick just off target, so they're peppering the goals. Sydney 3-4 and North Melbourne 4 straight.
It's a good sign too, Dennis, because North just look a bit rattled at the moment. A few of their players unsure of where their Sydney players are.
Talking about Gavin McMahon before, I was looking at his profile. Under nickname they've got Macca. Obviously the boys stayed up late thinking that one up. Smith boots it towards the outer side. Scholl tries to knock it away from Lawson. Close to the boundary line, it's out of bounds.
Plenty of endeavour being shown by the Sydney team at the moment. Ron Barassi would love to do well against his old side. Well, one of them. Martin. Ramiro gets the run. Does well. Good tackle on him. It's going to be a Swans free kick out of all that. It's going to Higgins. One of the more mobile on ballers the Swans have had in the last few seasons, bar one. which, as I said earlier, he missed through a knee injury. Little fluky breeze has sprung up now. Could make the difference between a goal and a behind here. Right on 50. Higgins. Plenty of height with the kick. Accuracy looks pretty good. Oh, what a beauty. It's a goal. Swans in front.
So the Sydney Swans very competitive. They lead by 4 points. There's the time remaining. Rose goes up and gets it down. German in real trouble. Held to him, says the umpire. And a bounce on that centre square. It's Peter German. Schenko hooks it down. Laidley was held without it. Dean Laidley will get a free kick out towards the wing. His old team West Perth playing their last game this afternoon at Leederville in Western Australia. They're off to Joondalup. Oh, great mark. Bays over the top of Carey. And when you consider the quality of the opposition, that's a terrific effort. A chest mark on somebody's shoulder towards the outer side. McRae has it knocked away by Laidley. He recovers best. He's close to the boundary line. He pulls it back. Osmond's in front. In close attendance was Blakey, taken by Martin away to Roberts. Roberts with some time at half back. It's the hand pass across to Allison. Some indecision. Eventually he goes for distance down towards half forward. Carey props in front. He attracted a crowd. This is Romero. Boots it inside the 50. These two guys, the only two inside the 50. But it favours Werner. And Werner comes away, aided by that bounce, has a few himself. Gets it across to Lawson. Lawson right half back, kicks it down towards half forward. Martin leads in the race. Bryce in pursuit. The boundary line coming up. So is the fence, and the ball's out of bounds.
Fence very close to the line here at the SCG, and really on the wings you'd have to say there's no real need for it because the ground is so wide. So boundary throw in right half forward for Sydney, doing well in the first quarter. Plenty of endeavour. Schenko and Rose go at it. Higgins a chance. Kelly taken down. No one's going anywhere.
Yes, and Anthony Stevens now has been moved on to Kelly.
Good signs out there, Ross, for Sydney.
Yes, there are. Their endeavour's been very good. They want front posse, and their aggression is at the football. Good to see.
There's plenty of talking out there and patting each other on the back and what have you. Good stuff. Blakey, game number 150. Bryce, good effort to mark over Martin. Now McAdam. Rose. De Schwass went through without it initially. Ross Smith, a real stalwart for North Melbourne and Victoria, comes out wide. Allison on his own. It's unusual to see him in a short-sleeved jersey. Too warm for that today, though. Carey in front. Can't take the mark. Might have got a free. Roberts. Brunton, likewise, could have got a free. He was held. Umpire swallowed the whistle, I think. Lewis tries to paddle it forward. Higgins runs into German and McAdam. Romero tries to pinch it, still might do so. Roberts, and the refrigerator wasn't going anywhere either. Now it's Crocker a chance. Spears the pass out to Allison. He can kick a goal. 30 metres out directly in front. Goes goalward and gets it.
Centre square infringement. North lead by 2 points. The Swans with the free. Archer almost pushed in the back. Minton Connell's got it. He was taken high, and he'll get a free kick. Well, it was the second kick, and Archer's making the point. I thought he was pushed in the back initially. Still, hard for the umpire if they're coming down the ground from the centre bounce. Although the umpire's pretty close.
Close enough.
Close enough, if good enough.
And I think that centre square infringement was against McAdam.
So, Simon Minton Connell kicking at his second. He's hit the post already as well. And this to regain the lead. If it's a goal, the Swans will lead by 4 points. 3:22 remaining in the term. Minton Connell has been in terrific form in recent weeks. He starts it right at Ben's back. It's a goal. He has 2, and Sydney has the lead again.
This is very good stuff from Sydney. It's good to see this. This is the free kick again. As you see Minton Connell taken high there. And he is a very good kick at the footy, and with his 8 goals last week, full of confidence. And we would hope from Sydney's point of view that he moves to Sydney full-time next year so he can train with the players on a regular basis.
2 goals to Simon Minton Connell. Creswell to Lewis. Lewis from the edge of the square, kicks to half forward, and Martin. Safe mark. Bad kick, straight to Lewis again, who was more surprised than anyone, I think. Minton Cottle a chance if he can get clear, likes this pocket, bulldozes it back into play. One-on-one duel. Now Archer should be able to do the mopping up after Stafford overran it. Laidley should like the conditions here today. Long kick by the West Australian. Allison, mark of the year a couple of seasons back, couldn't drag into Specky there. McAdam will give it to Stevens, one of the great improvers in the AFL this year. Longmire in front, and Bayes will see the ball over the line for a rush behind to North Melbourne. Their first of the day. 5 goals, 1 to 5-4. Sydney in front by 3 points. Fans already saying ring the bell. Werner kicks it clear of hand and foot. Somebody in the crowd's got a whistle, which could be disconcerting. Over the boundary in front of Osborne. On the back line at the moment. Different role for him. Schenko and Rose go at it. Osborne kicks from a standing start up to centre wing. Smith probably could have marked that, but elected to do the safer thing and go for the punch. Blakey, he gets overrun by McMahon. Back to Laidley, looking for options. Quick left footer to the point of the square. Ramiro in front. Now Schenko comes in from the side. No mark taken. Bayes was held. Lawson at the fall of the ball. Speedy Gonzalez, lad from Wentworth, quickly to Rose. Rose from half back. It's an open Sydney forward line if they can take a mark, and a good grab is taken by Bryce.
Very good mark, that one. Bryce looks for Minton Connell on the lead. It was centimetre perfect.
It's always handy too, Dennis. We spoke before the game about, not on air, about having left footers in your team. They've got Troy Gray, Bryce, the left foot, and he's a very good kick at the football, and as you said there, perfect. Had to split the 2 North players to find Minton Connell, and he did that.
Squeezed it in. So Minton Connell will kick it goal from about 35 metres out. He's coming off his long run. He's starting in the Bill O'Reilly stand. He's way back. He's about 40 metres from the man on the mark.
He's got a new cherry, Dennis, too.
Kicking at his 3rd. This to increase the lead. Question of accuracy. It goes to the left and misses.
2 goals, 3.
Ron Barassi has come down from his elevated coach's box, and he'd be very happy because I'm sure he was aware they needed a start today, and they've got that. So can they stay in the game now? 17 seconds till quarter time, and North getting a fright early. They need to finish the season with a couple of wins, and they'll be the top qualifiers despite a couple of recent hiccups. Scholl goes to ground. He was tripped. He'll get the free kick. Almost the last action of the opening term, though. We're down to 4 seconds. He centres the ball. Allison needs to mark this. As it was, he spilt it. There's the siren, so it's quarter time. And North Melbourne challenged in the opening term here at the SCG. Generous applause from the fans for the Sydney Swans. They lead by 4 points. It's 5-5 to 5-1.
It's the name of the game.
Second quarter from the Sydney Cricket Ground. The Swans leading by 4 points. And they'll be going maybe against this slight breeze in this term. Rose, who did well in the first quarter, kicks to half forward. Martin practices off-the-ground skills. Higgins. Osborne didn't get the bounce he wanted. Scholl. And Laidley. Laidley's kick straight down the centre to half forward. Good mark taken by Bayes. He took a beauty in the first term over the top of Carey. This is Neal. Robert Neal gets rid of it quickly onto McRae. Too far out to score. Goes for the pass. No mark taken down there. Mann paddles the ball further forward. German was taken high. A quick kick. Spiral punt kick up towards centre wing. And Scholl takes the mark in front of Brunton. Was he off? Brunton thought so. Holding the ball, says the umpire. Good tackle. So the Swans playing with a lot of confidence. McMahon. Right centre wing. Wobbles the punt kick up towards centre half forward. Plenty of North players at the fall of the ball. Roberts will give it to Martin with a long clearing kick.
Through the centre, Carey gives a contest, knocked it forward. Kick across the ground by Brunton. Werner, they all came at him. It's knocked away by Carey out wide now. Kelly close to the boundary line. There's that fence again. And it will be thrown in.
Kelly now has his third opponent, Brett Ellison. Stevens picking up Scott Waters.
So the Swans lead by 4 points. The opening moments of the second term. Here's Roberts close to the boundary line. And he puts it out of bounds on the full. Werner will take the resultant free kick. Roberts with 1 goal so far in the game. In North's 5. Bright sunny conditions. The breeze not really a factor, just wafting down to the end that North are kicking to in this term. Michael Werner deep in his own defensive area. Comes wide with the kick. Mooney will need to go. He comes in from the side. Got hands to it. Didn't complete the mark. He comes again on the ground, Mooney. Well done. Shrugs a tackle. Boots it towards the wing. Higgins did well. Brunton slick hands. Cresswell some time. He needed it all. A hand pass went behind him. But his kick finds a teammate. I'm not sure by design. This is McRae. Lawson is on. He spotted Lawson too late. And as a result, there was some indecision, but he finds Osborne. Well, he was running in to kick it, and out of the corner of his eye, he saw Lawson. But he was too close then to the man on the mark to pull it back. Lawson was about 30 metres in the clear. As it was, it hasn't worked out too badly. Osborne's got it. Goes looking for Lawson, who was buried. Away comes Carey. Long kick towards centre half forward. Roberts, was he held? Yes, he was, according to the umpire, and he's within range. He'll take this kick from right on the 50. So Carey working right up the ground, getting that ball out of defence. Not much to that, but Roberts has got the free. Going at his second. This to put North Melbourne in front. Beautiful looking kick. Goal. North lead 6-1 to 5-5.
Yes, well, it is important, Dennis, as you mentioned there, with Carey being up the ground, that the centre half forward or half forward line does play forward. Being a short ground it is, it gets very congested if your half forward line drops back onto the full forward area. So if those players come up the ground, makes your forward line function a lot better.
9 free kicks to 6 in favour of North Melbourne. Mark Roberts has 2 goals. North Melbourne back in front. 37 to 35. Leaders 2 points. Ishenko and Rose. McAdam. Mooney a chance. Scholl. Good tackle, but he's dropped it. Mooney dives on it. North looking for a free kick there. Oh, gee, that's a bit tough. The ball wasn't underneath him anyway. Mark Roberts. Another free kick. He's already got 2 goals. Let's look at it again, Ross. And did he have the chance there?
Initially he did. He held onto the ball quite easily initially. Had a chance to handball out.
Not going to Roberts, actually. It's going to McAdam. $60 goals against his name this year. So 2 goals from free kicks early in the second quarter would not be what Ron Barassi would have wanted. Takes a long run. Tries the torpedo. He's got it.
In the shade. Over the boundary line, and the drought is broken for Adrian McAdam after a couple of goalless weeks. Getting his first goal of the afternoon. Roberts hasn't got the ball clearly and will get a free kick.
Yes, and with Archer off the ground, Darren Crocker's gone to fullback to pick up Minton Connell.
Roberts going for distance now. It's a long kick. Longmire is down there. So is Carey. That's marking power. And one of them, this time Longmire, comes up with it.
And that's his best spot. If he gets in front, he's a very tall man. Long arms, and he's better. He gets around in front of the pack there. Started from behind, but wanted the front pos in the end and got the footy.
And he comes from 25 metres out. He puts it through, his second. That makes 72 for the season. As we said earlier, he got 9 back in round 6 against the Swans in that rout. And suddenly North are making a move. They've skipped away. They lead 8-1 to 5-5.
Yes, they're just starting to look a little bit more positive now. And hope that the Swans, I would hope the Swans don't drop their bundle a little. They just maintain their intensity they had in that first quarter. Otherwise, it could be a game that gets right away from them.
6 to 11, the free kicks. 35 to 49. Might be just an overflow or have the floodgates opened. For Sydney's sake, we hope not. But North looking better in the second quarter. Rose. Good leap. Ramiro. McAdam.
Well, he should turn around. Players should never run with their back to the play like that. Even if you're only 10 metres out, you should always turn around quickly to see what's in front of you. Had Stevens on, he'd run away from Waters. Because he had his back to the play, didn't see him.
Well, they've only been playing 7 minutes, and this could be their 4th goal at this quarter. Quite remarkable. Not with that kick. Off hands in the behind.
Wasn't the most convincing approach, was it?
No, his other one was better. So 35 to 50, 15 points after Sydney led by 4 points at quarter time. And the Swans haven't scored. Werner has the job on Longmire. Goes straight out in front of goal. These passes have to be pinpoint accuracy, and that one wasn't. He's found Ross Smith. Well, have the wheels fallen off?
Well, Barras, Rod Carter said that Barras complimented his players at quarter time on their skills. They've dropped it off very quickly.
Oh, gee. Ross Smith doesn't kick too many goals. And you can see why. No mark taken in the square. And rushed through for a behind to North Melbourne. Might give Sydney a chance to regroup, because it's been all North Melbourne so far in the second quarter. 35 to 51.
Werner once more. Comes towards our commentary side. Mooney takes the mark. Thought about going and then holds up. He's at left half back.
Gavin Rose off the ground for the Swans, and Troy Gray on.
Cresswell's got it now. Just forward of half back. Goes down towards half forward. Not a good kick. It wobbles off the boot. Bryce comes aggressively at the ball, though. Holds the mark. Bryce, who's been a good forward so far, towards the pocket. Minton Connell appeared to grab the defender down there, Crocker. Down goes Pyman. Opportunity for Gray just on the ground. He got the ball from Brunton. He hooks it back towards full forward. Nobody's at home, though, except Laidley. Beautiful hand pass out wide. Releases Scholl. Ramiro's on down the ground, as is McAdam. McAdam's got it. Watch out for Ramiro. He elects to bounce instead. Now goes for distance. Long down towards Longmire. In front, missed by Werner. Longmire, the only man left standing. Carey, an opportunity now. 35 metres out. Pulls it back across his body. Oh, that's a beauty. Well, just about. It just missed.
Well, he should have got a free kick too, because Bass just dragged him to the ground. The umpire, just can't see how the umpire misses those sorts of free kicks.
8-4 to 5-5. Well, Carey all but kicked that one. Now Werner, who's getting plenty of practice in this term after a flawless start initially by North. They kick 5 straight. It's booted in, and Roberts will take a kick. So it's 8-4 to 5-5.
He can get a free kick, can't he, Mark Roberts?
He's got this one about 60 metres out, and will put it right to the square. Well, not a particularly good kick either. Effective, though.
Let it go, mate.
It's that sideways spin that fills them. And Longmire drifting in, marked on his chest.
Yes, and Mark Bass, who isn't Longmire's immediate opponent there, just standing to the left, allowing that play to come straight through.
Longmire then, 15 metres out, gets the goal.
One-way traffic in the second quarter. North Melbourne has kicked 4 goals, 3-0 in 11.5 minutes of play. Sydney hardly crossing the centre line. So whatever Dennis Pagan said at quarter time is obviously working. Nishenko gets the tap, but can't tap it very far. Lawson tries to get it back. Kelly, who was pretty good in the first quarter, straight down towards Osborne. Mark or free kick, would have thought. No, not paid by the umpire. Sydney fans not too happy. Laidley dispossessed well. Higgins.
Not well, Osborne either.
Tries to get it back to Minton Connell. Bryce goes in there solidly. North Melbourne have the numbers, and Osborne's still down.
Yep.
Let's see what happened there. Pyman gets taken over the boundary, and umpire says throw it in. And did Aussie cop one?
Yes, in the attempt by Blakey to contest. I think he copped one in the face.
Oh yeah. right there. Well, not wearing the helmet today.
I think that one was on the jaw.
Still a worrying time, though, isn't it?
Yes.
Waters. Snap goal, and he's got it. Just what Sydney needed, because it's been all North Melbourne early in the second quarter. Sydney getting its first score, and Osborne with the cold towel on the back of his neck, I think is okay. So that's a bit of a relief.
And Scotty Waters, who's just been well checked in the latter part of the first quarter and this early part of the second by Anthony Stevens, a hard man to get away from, kicks a very good goal.
So Werner's off the ground now. I suppose perhaps for some indiscreet kicking in as Pyman gets it from Schwass. Of course, he's got his problems, or had his problems, past tense with Longmire. Eventually, they work it out of defence then. Dunkley got it across to Bayes, who chips it out wide. This is McRae. He's on the wing. Dean McRae, the former North Melbourne player, goes down towards half forward. Higgins did nicely, turned Laidley around, runs to the 50. He should kick a goal here, runs to 40. Well, he and I are not close in our assessment there, as the ball goes out of bounds in the left full forward pocket.
Well, he normally is a very good kick.
Doesn't take me long.
Put him on the spot there, didn't you?
Fixed him right up. They should get me chasing some of these guys and sing out to them just as they're about to kick. You should get this. So here's Blakey in the back pocket. Back towards the wing. Set up for Stafford from behind. He punches away. Schwass at full tilt with great dash. Gets it across to support. This is man through the middle. That's the way to play it. Long kick. Set up for Longmire over the top. Didn't complete the mark. They've got the numbers, though. Carey cleverly. Roberts, open goal. 3 generally will beat 2, and it did right there.
Yes, and just quick instinctive stuff there by the North forwards. Got the ball down nicely there. Handballs by both Longmire, as Mann was the player to get that ball. Direct kick, that's what you want at the Sydney Cricket Ground. Longmire, the quick little knock through, then Carey, and an easy goal. Just thinking, Dennis, if you were chasing someone, you'd have to yell out fairly loudly because you'd be a fair way behind.
Quite right.
Mark Roberts gets his third. The difference is blown out to 23 points after the Swans led by 4 points at quarter time. Kelly gets past Ashenko, and that was quite a feat in itself. Higgins and Laidley. Higgins is the first to recover. Laidley still tracking him closely. Higgins close to the boundary line, and the mark taken at half forward by Neil. Goes long. Gee, that's not a bad sort of a kick. It's a goal!
Here's Robert Neal, a player of some class. Drafted from the ACT. That was a great goal. Stevens out of the middle and as far as Lewis. Sweeps a hand pass out wide. This is Kelly finding himself in space. Measures the kick. Goes inside the 50. Osborne's in front down there. It pitches just in front of him. Blakey in close attendance. And the ball goes across the boundary line. So Sydney staying in touch. 7-5 to 10-4. The next goal would be handy. A throw in at left half forward. Schenko is there. Stafford comes from behind him, works his way in front. Well done by the young man. Hooks it down, intended for Kelly. Schwass crashes into that pack as well. And a whistle.
Glenn Archer back on. He's gone into the forward line, and the player off is Peter German.
And Werner's getting ready to come back on as well. Stafford hits it down. Scholl hits it back. Taken by McRae. Tackled by Stevens. And McRae will get a free kick. It was too high. Wants to play on initially. Now elects to kick in the Osborne direction. Loose ball behind Gray. Gets the hand pass off. Cresswell couldn't control it. He's surrounded by North players. In comes Lawson with dash. Lewis soccers it off the ground. It goes down towards the pocket. Minton Connell tackled by Crocker. Had it a long time. Back comes Lawson again. Laidley put his body in. It's picked up by Blakey. To the boys supplied by Pyman. And Pyman drives it around the outer side. Waters drifts back and takes the mark. Just forward at right centre wing. A couple of men on in short. And he gets it to one of them. This is Leon Higgins.
Creswell was the other one. Too far out to score a goal, so we won't put Dennis on the spot again. He's got in short. Ooh, that was solid on Lewis. Could have almost been 50. And that's what Lewis was suggesting to the umpire against Pyman. As it is, you'll have to kick into this slight breeze. Maybe just a tad too far out. Although the way Robert Neal kicked from the boundary line, you'd suggest that could be wrong.
Dunkley off for the Swans, with Werner back on to go down to pick up Longmire again. Lewis has hooked that one, so he's got the distance but not the accuracy he required, and one behind. Kicked by Dale Lewis, his first score of the day. 7-6 to 10-4, 48 to 64, after it was 5-5 to 5-1 in Sydney's favour at quarter time. Ross Smith kicks in. Commentary box side. Good mark taken by Mann, who started on the bench for the Northerners today. He'll look for a hand pass to the run of Laidley. Laidley to midfield, in fact kicks to half forward. Good kick, plenty of distance with that. Knocked down to Roberts, who's been busy kicking 3 goals. One-on-one duel just close to the goal square. Longmire and Werner. Longmire, snap, off target. Out of bounds or behind? It's out of bounds on the full. So it's going to be a Sydney free kick in the left back pocket for the Swans. John Longmire just acknowledging there he could have handballed to Carey.
But Werner breathed a sigh of relief then, just back on the ground after getting a speech.
And the sausage kicked very quickly.
Yes. John Longmire has kicked 3 goals today. And as I said, Mark Roberts has as well. Longmire 73 now for the season. So Werner, formerly of Essendon, from left back pocket, going close to the boundary line, and he's put it over. Well, really no excuse for that. So a free kick to North, and it'll be taken by big Alex Zashenko. Looks more like Mick Nolan every day, doesn't he?
Oh, it's a bit unkind.
Well, he does. He's got those same characteristics. He's big. Longmire has it punched away by Werner this time. It's out of bounds and a throw in. Don't tell him I said that, will you?
A Russian gasometer.
There's the time remaining. There's our scoreline. And it's thrown in. Stafford hits it wide. Ramiro's got the run of it, though. Gets by Lawson. Allison sold into trouble. He wanted to come back on his left foot. It was well played by Kelly, holding the ball a decision. And Kelly, the Sydney skipper, with a free kick in the back pocket. He sends play towards the wing. Zashenko goes up. McRae did well to give a contest. And again, slaps it towards the boundary line. Still he goes. Hand passes to his own advantage. Well played, Dean McRae. He was acquired for an 8th-round draft pick from North Melbourne. Interesting to note, North used that pick to draft Adrian McAdam. Good work by McRae on the wing. It'll be thrown in again. Stafford and Zashenko. Zashenko smarting after those recent remarks. Got it down to Stevens. McAdam takes this one about 25 metres further afield. He sets it up now for Longmire. Watch out for Carey over the top. He's taken the mark. Wayne Carey. He's terrific in the air.
Just the size of his hands. Just read it beautifully and controlled it.
And if North are to take a tilt at this premiership, this man will be a key. No question about that. He'll kick it goal from about 30 metres out, directly in front. This for his second. And he puts it through.
Carey gets his second and 58th for the year. Rose back on for Sydney, and Higgins off. An exchange of the Redheads, therefore, 48 to 70. 6 goals kicked by North Melbourne in this term. It's been a good one. A couple of frees early. Schwass. That's a real up and under. Won't clear the square. Doesn't matter. Roberts has got it. He's played well against his old side. Well, one of them. Well, Longmire, a bit of a push there on Werner. Lewis and Archer. Boundary line is too close. It's out of bounds. Right on 50, left half forward flank for North Melbourne. As we said, if they can win today and win next week against Footscray, they will take top spot. Position they held for a greater proportion of the year. Archer does the ruck work. Can't find a teammate. Goes to Kelly. He'll be quite content to see it over the boundary line again, thus gaining about 15 metres for his side. Lovely day in Sydney, and that's the best place to watch it out there in the sun. Not in the sun, though, is Leon Higgins. He's in the shade, and what's the matter with him, Rod?
He seems to have a slight strain of the left hamstring. They're working on him right now.
Thanks, mate. Now, loose ball still to be won. It was German. Was it the required distance? Don't think so. Snap at goal is close. Is off target. So the Roos doing all the attacking. Leon Higgins having a stint on the bench. Haven't seen Anthony Rock reappear either, have we? He went off with a hamstring as well. No mark taken out there. John Blakey underneath it. Richard Osborne over the top. Osborne copped a pretty heavy whack earlier and got up. Mooney coming off the ground. So Ron Barassi's certainly swinging the changes at the moment, and coming on for the first time today is Andrew Dunkley. It goes to McAdam,
Who centres it. They'll contest at centre-half forward for North. In fact, no contest. Scholl runs onto the loose ball, kicks from 35 out, and I think he's got another one. Yes. North have a lead now that's out to 29 points.
Yes, and far too easy this, really. The effort by Sydney just not good enough here. McAdam very quickly just squaring the ball to centre-half forward, and Scholl just too easily through the traffic there. He could have handballed to Ellis on the right of screen there. In the end, the result was the right one anyway.
It was tight at quarter time. In fact, the Swans led by 4 points, but North have dominated the second term. Like the good side they are. Knocked on by Rose. Sydney work it forward towards centre-half forward, but Laidley eventually picks it up. First clean possession, got it out to Scholl, who kicked that last goal. He boots it out wide. Stevens and Longmire. It's Longmire a long way from goal. Unloads with a long kick down towards Carey. Knocked away by Bayes. Taken by Lawson. Lawson in trouble. Back to Bayes, who kept his head. Now McMahon in the back pocket. Did nicely. Gets it out to Neal. Lewis. Left half back Dale Lewis. Kicks towards the wing. Ill-directed. Roberts couldn't believe his good fortune. Chips it back. Archer will need to go over the top. Lawson. McAdam an opportunity. Pulls it back. It bounces through. Well, Dale Lewis would be very disappointed with that effort, bringing it out. It was a poor kick, and Roberts caught Sydney on the rebound.
Yes, and Glenn Archer, good contest there too, coming back into the play. There's the ball will come back from Roberts here. Here we are, back into Archer. Good contest there, but such a clever kick by McAdam. Didn't even look.
Anthony Rock still sitting on the bench, cool in the shade. Well, it's a blitzkrieg here by North Melbourne in the second quarter, and you would suggest that they'd probably get 10 or 12 for the term. 7-6 to 13-5. It just keeps coming down there. Not this time. Lewis in front of German takes the kick. Only out to centre wing position, though. Good mark taken by Smith over Gray. And as Peter McKenna would say, here they come again. Blakey. Schwass. Nearly took the mark. Attempted tackle by Osborne. Couldn't bring it off. Archer in front and marks. So goal number 9 of the quarter coming up.
This is Glenn Archer enjoying his little stint in the forward line, having played predominantly in the back line this year. And good kick from Swash there to centre the ball, not looking for the goals. And his teammates knew that's where the ball was coming to.
And Sydney fans applauded their side at quarter time. I don't think we'll see a repetition at the main change. North Melbourne fans might. Archer gets the goal. Gee, they're pretty easy to kick at the moment. 7-6 to 14-5.
And that would really be the worrying thing, Pete, that particular point, that North are just getting their goals and their possessions a little too easily after the good start by Sydney. Here's his centering kick by Wayne Swass, and a terrific mark by Archer. And a kick there, straight as an arrow.
Archer, arrow, I get it. Over.
9-goal term by North. We're back in the middle. 14-5 plays 7-6. If they get another goal before half-time, it will be their 4th 10-goal term of the year. And guess what? Their previous 3 came against Sydney in round 6. Out comes Crocker. Good defensive mark up towards half-back. Goes across the ground. It's all North Melbourne on the outer side. Any one of 3. It's German. He gets it across to Ross Smith. The dashing defender comes away from deep in defence and sends play towards the outer side wing. In front was Bayes. Zichenko goes to ground. Over the ball out there is Scholl. Knocks it back as far as Rose. Rose boots it through midfield. Opportunity there for Dunkley. It was touched initially by Roberts. It spills back to Martin. Martin boots it down towards centre half forward. Out comes Archer. Nicely done. Well played. Allison, 35 metres out. 10 goals for the quarter. Yes. (15-5) plays 7-6. Well, so quickly the competitive spirit of Sydney has evaporated.
Yes, and again the importance of running straight at the football here by Archer. Just grabbed it beautifully in a quick handball. Allison, who's got the job on Kelly, kicks a very good goal.
Going to be a real percentage booster for North Melbourne. Gray over the top to Robert Neal, who kicked that beautiful goal earlier in the quarter. One of only two that Sydney's got so far in this term. Osborne, good gather at right half forward, looking to centre the ball, which he does. And the mark taken by Darren Creswell. Boy, do Sydney need a goal. Led by 4 points at quarter time, and North Melbourne really have shut the gate on this match even before half time. Creswell from 55. Good kick. Going to be close. Won't quite make the distance. No mark taken in the goal square. Crocker. Good gather. Kicks it to the outer side. 2-on-1. Creswell's taken the mark over Scholl. And again, like Osborne, looking for options. Oh, that's 50. He ran over the mark. Surely that's 50. As Creswell was told to play on, I didn't see that signal from the umpire. North Melbourne player went right in front. And Ron Barassi looking predictably disgusted. They promised so much in the first term to give so little in the second. Rose knocks down. Plenty of congestion there. Scholl kicks out of it. Gray onto Creswell. Nicely around Smith. Long, high kick to the front of the goal. Martin in good position. Couldn't bring it down. And Crocker using his experience to kick the ball into the open spaces on the centre wing. The bounce going to be pretty important here. Kelly and Allison. And Kelly beats two of them. Well done by the Sydney skipper. Gives out the hand pass. On it comes to Lewis. And Lewis goes in short and finds Richard Osborne just outside 50 metres. Osborne on the back line a lot in the first term. Going to have a shot at goal. Need to be a pretty good kick from there. Tries to bend it back. It's not coming back. Is that a mark to Stafford? Umpire says no. Crocker. Schwass. Off the ground, Minton Connell. And a goal. Minton Connell gets his third. Valuable one for Sydney. 3 goals, 3. He's kicked 8-6 now to 15-5.
Yes, and Dean Lavey a bit stiff here. He's the player making the effort to get the footy as it spills to the ground. You'll see him shortly. There is now. Tries to get the ball back to a teammate, but just spills out of his arms and goes to the advantage of Minton Connell. And the goal results.
Minton Connell, his third goal, back in the middle. Substantial lead still for North, as you can see, 15-5 to 8-6. Roberts goes to ground. We've got a whistle. The umpire wants the ball, and I've gone to the record book here. The second term by North, their best of the year. Their previous best 51 points, twice against Brisbane and Fitzroy. It's their best second term in 3 seasons. So I guess they're back in form. Waters couldn't control it. Trying to knock it out with Scholl. Stevens comes through. It was smothered. Crawling after it, Dunkley. That's great desperation, Dunkley. Twice. Romero's in there matching it, though. North work it forward with weight of numbers. Roberts has got the run of it. It goes towards the kick-off line, sensing the danger, and just as well, Lawson breaks away, but the adrenaline was going and pumping too strongly that time because he gave it away to Ashenko. Now Carey an opportunity with the help of Stevens. He pulls it back. It falls in short, and Lewis is in the road. So some poor disposal from players of both sides, marring that last passage of play. Here's Waters on the outer side. Intended for Osborne, knocked away by Blakey. Out of bounds on the outer wing. And that could well be the last action of the first half. It'll be thrown in. the defensive side of right centre wing. The Sydney Swans, who have been blitzed in this term. Over the top, Bays thumps it back out of bounds and wait for the siren. Doesn't take a very good cue. Well, our clock says it's long overdue. Osborne's got the ball. It's half-time at the SCG.
Two bad calls in this quarter, Dean.
Yeah, well, I won't get into the predicting business. I won't be a timekeeper. So it's half-time, and what a quarter by North Melbourne. They kicked 10 goals in the quarter, 10 goals 4, and at half-time they lead 15-5 to 8-6. Well, what can you say about that quarter by the Swans? They played so well and probably should have led by more than 4 points at quarter time, but it all came to pieces in the opening minutes of the second quarter, and I guess centre square dominance had a lot to do with that.
Yes, it did, and I think those 2 free kicks to the Roos just after the siren really had the Swans hanging their heads, and they got goals from them, North Melbourne, and they never looked back. 15-5 to 8-6.
The name of the game is Australia.
Okay, so third quarter about to get underway at the SCG. 41 points in favour of North. A complete turnaround. They kicked 10 goals 4 in the second term to completely blitz Sydney. Stafford and Dashenko go at it. Cresswell went past without the football. So too did Kelly. German puts North into attack, albeit briefly. Lewis can't handle it either. Chance for Roberts. Archer tries to paddle it towards him. Comes out the back. Laidley's there. Applies a tackle. Ball goes past him. Carey and Osborne. Osborne off the ground. Out of bounds on the full, I think, yes. And the look on Aussie's face tells the story. So free kick going North Melbourne's way, right beneath our commentary position, to be taken by John Blakey, the 150 gamer. Blakey's kick towards left half forward. Ishenko the target. They all misjudged that in the shade. Rose to the boundary line in front of Longmire, takes it over right on 50. A couple of quick goals would see Sydney revitalised, I'm sure. Not a huge margin. 41 points the way football was played. Ishenko gets front position. Bryce at the back. Scholl runs out of room in front of Robert Neal, who kicked a superb goal in the second quarter. In line for goal of the day honours, as was the one from Bryce in the first quarter. They just haven't got enough of them. Taps it down Bryce. Archer was there. Had a stint on the forward line after playing most of the season in defence. All beating Carey and also Allison over the line. It'll be a throw in left forward pocket.
Yes, and Dennis Paget has now moved Mark Roberts to full forward. Wayne Swoss out to a half forward flank.
No change to the half-time score. Boundary throw in. Left full forward for North. Carey in front. Drifting across in front of him was Longmire. Waters waits behind. The hand pass comes out wide to Lewis, who boots it towards the wing. Blakey goes back, but behind him Werner does very well at full stretch. Blakey was backing back, with Werner oblivious to that. A great diving capture. He kicks inside the attacking 50 for his team. Propped in front, it was knocked forward by Crocker. Cresswell an opportunity now. Thought about the hand pass, then goes with the kick, and it bounces through for a behind. Aaron Cresswell has had a pretty productive season. 27 goals so far this year. Anthony Rock not too happy. And you can't blame him. The last couple of months have been very taxing for him. He's trying to get ready for the finals. It was obvious a long way from home that North were going to participate. Players don't want injury at this time of the year. Here's Schwass, claimed by Kelly. He didn't have the ball. He'll get the free kick at centre half back.
A couple of changes by Ron Barassi at half-time. Paul Bryce has gone on to the ball, it looks like, and Werner's gone to centre half forward, and Gavin Rose has gone to play on John Longmire in the back pocket.
Schwass down towards centre half forward. Carey fisted away by Bays. Crashing in there was Lewis. Well played Ramiro. Gets the hand pass across to Stevens. Down towards full forward. Dunkley did nicely. Good evasion. He boots it back towards the wing, but nobody's at home. Ishenko is there. Takes the mark. He plays on to Scholl.
Scholl from inside the square. Good long kick. Covers 55 metres. Marking contest only 10 metres out from goal. North Melbourne players are plenty and looking for a holding the ball decision. And none is forthcoming. It's going to be a bounce. Only 15 metres out from goal. Dunkley, the last man to get up. Bounce actually goes towards the goal. German, Waters, and also taking the ball over the line, Robert Neal. So the Swans getting it away from the zone. 55 to 95. Difference is 40 points. Rose up high. Longmire at the back. Quick kick from a standing start out in front of goal. Finds Carey. Couldn't mark it. Well, good tackle by Archer. It's going to be a Swans ball. Waters gives it to Bryce. And Bryce, long clearing kick. Osborne the target. One-on-one duel in front. Osborne held. Will get a free kick at right centre wing. And the Bronx cheer going up to the umpire. Only the Swans' 10th free kick. North Melbourne has 13. A couple of goals have come from free kicks, though. So, again, not how many, but where you get them. Lawson leaves it for Waters. Takes it back now. Lawson from Brunton. And North defence standing firm, as it has done all day. They should be able to get out of this. Mooney, Stafford. Back to Kelly. That's a beautiful kick from the skipper. He's put it through for a goal.
North lead by 34 points. And the centre square infringement. It'll be a North free kick.
Paul Kelly actually made the 5th play for the Swans in the centre square, Dennis.
Unforgivable. Ushenko boots inside the 50. Carey comes up on the lead. Couldn't hang on. Waters, a half chance. Lost it. This is Roberts running away from his own goal. He's 55 metres out. Pulls it back across his body. Bryce runs back with the flight of it through his arms. Now he's got problems. Bounces off one and again. And then it goes out of bounds. He was disorientated. And it will be thrown in. The pinball wizard, Paul Bryce, in the pocket. They came from all directions. So a throw in. Pits Carey against Bayes. Bayes wins it down. Pyman chases it. Archer is there. Good desperation. Now the youngster McMahon throwing his body across the path to goal. It's been quite impressive. Strongly built youngster. Still at school. Here's Lewis. Osborne comes on a lead. It's a searching lead. He started at half forward. He'll need to go now. He's outnumbered. Chance for Schwass. Feeds it back. He knew they had the numbers. Blakey gives it to Roberts. High kick towards the kickoff line. From behind the leap, Longmire. He flicks it away, but in the process of going after the ball, he interfered with Rose. Advantage is paid, and look at Lawson. A streaking run to midfield. He kicks towards half forward. Minton Connell makes a path for himself. He's outside the 50 now. Good use of the body. He chips it in short. Lawson has run on. He fumbles. Gives it back to Minton Connell. Look out. He didn't see the man Romero coming at him. He should have hand passed. Laidley feeds it back. It's taken by Smith. No options that way, so he comes grandstand side and finds McAdam.
McAdam on the edge of the square. North Melbourne might be able to score themselves here. Martin gets around the umpire. Long kick to half forward. No mark taken. There is a free kick going Sydney's way. Is it going to be Bayes or Rose? Rose is going to take it. Over to Bayes now. Bayes out wide. Bryce playing one of his better games for Sydney today. Up to Creswell. Quick hand pass back to Bayes, who can kick at the country mile and does. That's a good 55-metre kick down towards full forward. They all misjudged it subsequently. Mann is there. He runs out of room. Stafford's got him. Throw it in, says the umpire. That will take place Sydney's right forward pocket, right next to the behind post. Stafford and Mann. Werner and Martin, who flings him to the ground. Smith went down in the tackle as well. Blakey applies one. Mooney backs out of the pack. In goes Stevens, and it will be another bounce. Only 15 metres away from goal still in Sydney's forward line, trailed by 41 points at half-time. And it's now 9-7 to 15-6. Difference of 35. Stafford and Mann again. One by Mann. Scholl. He's gang tackled, holding the ball, say the Sydney players, not the umpire. No chance, obviously, to get rid of it. Paul Kelly glares at him. So another bounce, perhaps a little bit further out from goal, nearer the pocket. Stafford wins it. McRae is there. Across his body with the snapshot, will be out of bounds on the full. I fancy it is. And so a free kick will go North Melbourne's way to be taken by either Mann or Smith. It's going to be Ross Smith to kick it in. Mooney stands on the mark. Smith up towards the centre. Kelly from behind tries to punch. It went past Roberts. So too McRae. Shoulders in there. Dunkley applies a tackle. So does Creswell. Out the front, Roberts paddles it for Blakey. Osborne gets clear. To get clear of Laidley was well done. Awkward looking kick. Stafford marks in the goal square and from a foot out has put it through.
So Greg Stafford, who turns 19 next Friday, getting Sydney's 10th, his first of the afternoon. The margin there 67 as opposed to North's 96. North haven't booted a goal in this term. And the Swans have got 2. Stafford doing the ruck work now. It falls at the feet of Ashenko and Stafford. It comes across to Roberts, who tumbles a kick inside the 50. Worked out of it Pyman. Back goes McAdam. It runs away from him and it's out of bounds in the pocket.
Paul Kelly's now been moved back onto Pyman.
Rose and Longmire, I think, will do the rucking here. Longmire in front. Carey comes from behind. It was knocked forward by Rose, though. Roberts tracks it towards the boundary line, gets it back over his shoulder, but straight to Brunton. A high kick, floats it down towards the wing. It pitches just inside the field of play and runs away from Blakey and Osborne, 2 former Fitzroy players, and we'll have a throw in. The attacking side of left centre wing for North. They lead 15-6 to 10-7, but the Swans are looking better in this term. Just over 15.5 minutes till three-quarter time. Ashenko is there. Bryce did well to get rid of him. Perhaps should have hand passed. He elected a kick. It comes down towards the half-forward line. It bounces favourably for Mooney, who did nicely. Pushed off Ross Smith. No easy feat. I think he wanted to hand pass to Creswell. He couldn't control the ball, but he certainly controlled the kick. Goal to Mooney. The Swans' 3rd of the term. They're looking much better. 11-7, 15-6.
Yes, and as Dennis said, he did very well then to push himself away from Ross Smith, which is no easy task. And Smith's a clever player, very strong on his feet and quick. And he deceived everyone and ended up kicking a very good goal. Well played.
Jason Mooney gets his first goal, and the difference now back to 23 points at the SCG. 3 goals to Sydney in the 3rd term. Much better effort than what we saw from the Swans in the 2nd. Stafford up high. Ramiro out of the circle. Bryce, Dunkley across his body with the left foot. Past Laidley. Smith is there for backup support outside the square, straight down the corridor. Huge pack of players. Kelly, grab, looks for the free kick. Bryce. Ramiro. Really gave it to the opposition there. Scholl runs into a brick wall and taken away by McMahon. The teenager still at school, as Dennis said, down to half forward. Smith too far underneath it. Charge for Mooney again. Not onto the left foot this time, but the hand passes to McRae. Long shot is well off target, out of bounds on the full.
Deserved a goal, that.
Would have been handy. Mann will take the free kick for North Melbourne. Started on the bench for the Roos. Good kick distance-wise. Crocker underneath it. Should mark, and does. Gets the hand pass away. Addison on the end of it. Carey the target. Tried to take it in front of his face. Couldn't do so. Bayes was there. Now Schwass. Standing start kick. Almost a spiral job as it turned out. McAdam should have taken that. Lewis. Drag. Longmire gets clear of Waters. He'll have a snap at goal. Beauty.
102 plays 73. A nice example of contrast in this game. That last goal from Longmire. And prior to that, McRae missing one that was easier at this end. The end of which we see Creswell kick now. It comes down towards the kick-off line. Minton Connell forced to spoil from behind. Crocker was in front. As a result, Mann was able to get the spoils and gets it across towards Laidley, who runs it out towards right half back and pulls it down towards half forward. Carey has been pretty silent overall today. Goes in after this one. It's slapped out wide to Pyman by Archer. Pyman's kick inside the 50. Storming up the ground is Rose. Hits it high in the air. Comes again and slaps it out towards the boundary, but Pyman's in the road. Pyman does well in a tight situation. Lays it off to Stevens. Stevens, about 60 metres out from goal, has had a bounce. Long kick down towards the kick-off line. In from the side, Archer. Couldn't hang on. Was that Werner down there? I think it was, or Dunkley. In fact, it's Lewis at the base of all. That was quick thinking. The ball came to him. He didn't want it. And the pack just descended on him. And he was able to hand pass it back over his shoulder. And he found the boundary line, which was his intent. So Let's throw it in. Archer, clean possession, did brilliantly to German, standing kick for a goal.
German just coming back onto the ground to replace Alex Zichenko.
Terrific by Archer.
It really was, wasn't it? Just clever stuff, because he had the jump and everyone grabbed the ball out of the boundary throw-in, which is being done a little more often these days. And it is clever play, and then they're not easy goals to kick from a standing start. You've got to quickly put the boot to the ball. Not as much control as you'd like, and he did it well, Peter German. He was had a pretty quiet day, spent some time on interchange.
9 North Melbourne players have now kicked goals. That was German's first. And the Roos pulling 2 back after the Swans got 3 quick ones to start the 3rd quarter. Stafford past Stevens and Mooney. Allison. Smith tries to turn but turns into trouble. Allison with speed, get himself out of trouble. Bryce, yes, great leap, fine mark. His own defensive 50-metre line. Allison's there, Werner, Martin over the top. And the ball beats Stevens over the boundary line for throw-in on centre wing on the outer side. Let's look at that mark again from Paul Bryce. Real specky. And cantoning into him, Wayne Carey. Roberts to Ramiro. Jose's kick to half forward. Rose gets it away from the horse, and it will be another boundary throw in. So North Melbourne handy lead 17-6-108 to 11-7-73. Swans got it back to 23 points early in the quarter as Pyman takes it over again. Sydney probably gaining about 10 or 15 metres in that passage of play. So another throw-in. Bottle up on the outer side. Longmire and Rose. Longmire. Lawson might have been on the shoulder. Is it the advantage? Going to be a North Melbourne free kick going the other way. So Longmire to take it. Too far out to score. He'll be looking for Carey. Oh, good mark. Terrific mark from Carey. Led out well, took it low down, and gives himself an opportunity to put through his 3rd goal.
Yes, he does that very well. Very slippery for a big fellow. And very sure with his marking, whether it be on his chest or on his hands.
For kick number 6 and goal number 3. And he's got his 59th goal of the year. So the difference back to 41 points, which is what it was at half-time.
Yes, it's an interesting forward setup for North. They've got a horse, a duck, a Pyman and a German. And they're all working very nicely. But if you control Carey, it's hard to control Longmire. And you've got McAdam chipping in. You've had Pyman there, German. They've all contributed. Mark Roberts. Very hard to contain all those forwards.
Paul Kelly has hobbled off the ground. Gray comes on. There's our scoreline. And Carey with 3 goals on a ground that's notoriously difficult for centre-half forwards. The Swans work it out of the middle this time. Gray got it from McMahon. Eventually it comes across to Cresswell. The hand pass wider still to Neal. Neal, a telling kick inside the 50. Crocker goes back, thumps it across to Smith. Crocker went down off the ball. Meantime, Laidley's got it, boots it around the outer side. Now the Swans have got the numbers out here. Gray thumps it forward. Well, Laidley came up and did nicely. That's all North needed to get it out of bounds. It was 4-on-1 initially, and Laidley covered some ground to just do the percentage thing, and the ball will be tossed in.
Quite often he does that too. He's always prepared to shepherd, do those things.
One down by Mooney, but directly to Ramiro. He's going better in this term. He boots it towards the outer side. Archer got his left hand to it, couldn't control it. This is Rose, hard against the boundary line. Very high kick back towards his attacking 50, and Werner from behind, a very good grab. Werner at left half forward. It'll take a very good kick from here to score. It's about 65 metres from goal. 18-6 to 11-7, so the Swans giving a yelp immediately after half-time, but they've been suppressed as North have kicked the last few goals. Right to the goal square. Mann gets a fist on it, thumps it through. So a rushed behind. 11-8. Plays 18-6. Treatment for Paul Kelly. Meantime, German's got the ball in the back pocket. Takes it, runs away, kicks it out towards the wing. In from the side, a very strong grab once more to Bryce. He does some very good things, Bryce. He's taken 6 marks now. The stats on him as he boots it back inside the 50. Oh, great effort. He's so courageous. One of the premier defenders in the competition. Smith gets it to Schwass. Out wide it comes to Stevens.
Stevens, who's right half back, keeps the flow going for North Melbourne. And good mark again to Bryce. So in the thick of things in this quarter, Lewis, McRae in front of Laidley takes the mark. Close to the boundary line on left centre wing for Sydney. Started well in this quarter. Haven't been able to keep it going. And Crocker this time marking in front of Minton Connell. Good names in that defensive zone too. Rose has given away a free kick for on the shoulder and knows it. It'll be taken by Longmire. Longmire, right centre wing. It's a bit too much distance with the kick. The Roos had the numbers in that pack. None can take the mark. Gray tried to get it out. Lewis does. The hand pass will have to be good. Stevens has caught the 2 number 10s there figuring in it. That was Waters. McMahon gets taken down. Quick kick by Rose out of the pack. Rose up towards half forward. Tackled us by Blakey. Spills for Martin. Standing start kick to half forward. Roberts in front. We left out the refrigerator of the nicknames before. Archer. Carey. Will he look for the hand pass? He does. That was well done. The Pyman. And Pyman kicks the goal.
Back in the middle. And North being set for a big victory here. Bryce fumbles. Mooney gets the hand pass on. Smith taken high. So Ross Smith forward of half back. Margin 46 points. Smith a high kick towards centre half forward. Gray goes back with great courage. Fine mark. Lays it off to Brunton, who boots it out towards the wing. Up comes Michael Martin. Haven't seen a lot of him this afternoon. He heads for the boundary. He bounces it across the line on the wing. Rod Carter is down on the boundary. He's got some news on Paul Kelly. Rod?
Yes, he injured his ankle in the second quarter, and he's just having his ankle rebandaged. There's a pretty good chance that he might come back on.
Thrown in on the wing. Bryce in front and reaps the reward. A free kick. Roberts going over the shoulder. So Bryce, who played at North Melbourne and Melbourne, having a good third term. He boots it down towards half forward. Ross Smith launches himself from behind. It bounced off his chest. Mooney to Waters. Now an opportunity for Osborne deep in the pocket. Did Blakey trip him? Not according to the umpire. Now Osborne's got problems, but he played it pretty well. Mooney a sweeping hand pass. McRae with some time. 40 metres out from goal. He sets it up down towards full forward. And that was an interesting mark. It's been held down there by Gray, I fancy. Or is it Dunkley?
I think it's Troy Gray.
I think it is. And that ball sort of hit him. Involuntary action almost to complete the mark. And he controlled it on the way down.
Yes, he found a bit of form at centre half forward last Friday night.
So Gray, only about 10 metres out, should get this. And he has. 12 goals now for Sydney. 12-8 to 19-6.
Yes, and Troy Graves, we see here, effort by Olsen may have got a free kick here, but just used his brute strength to get away. There was a good handball in the end to find Mooney, who McRae's kicked just up and under a little. Thought he may have made the distance there, but then a good mark, as Dennis said, the ball just hitting Troy Gray on the chest. But he's one of those players that needs, or that Sydney needs to step up and take over a regular spot. He's just played the 18 games. Gets up around the 30 to 50 and really takes over to be a very vital player.
Troy Gray, the 9th Sydney player today to score a goal too. So from both sides, the goals have been shared. Lawson ducks the head, nearly had it taken off in the end. Schwass, quick kick away from the circle. Not going any further. Creswell on the top, and they'll get up progressively from there.
Beautiful tap by Bryce, that last one.
Bryce has done well in this quarter, hasn't he?
He had a very good game on the ball a few weeks back. Just dominated.
Maybe it's his niche. Roberts and Bryce go at it. To Laidley, looking for options. Eventually a good shepherd enables him to kick the ball to half forward. Longmire couldn't take it. Pyman fumbles at the crucial moment. Archer gives him backup support. Tackle was applied by Brunton. and it'll be a ball up about 45 metres out from North Melbourne's goal. North making the break in the second quarter when they kicked 10 goals for. They're now 19-6 to 12-8. So the difference is 40 points. Has been sort of goal for goal, kick for kick in this quarter. Stevens with the snap, off target, bounces out of bounds. Throw in the North Melbourne right forward pocket. The difference 40 points. It was 41 at half-time. Longmire and Rose. Longmire tries to flip it out the back. Stevens is there. Longmire again a chance. Archer dives at it quickly. Dunkley applies a tackle, and it will be another bounce. So Sydney defending desperately with 3.5 minutes before three-quarter time. Swans off to a good start today, leading by 4 points. North pegged them back quickly in the second. Bounce. Rose. Waters overruns it. Snapshot at goal by Stevens, I think it was. He's got it, has he? Yes.
So the margin back to 46 points. Just over 3 minutes remain till three-quarter time. Up goes Bryce again and decisively gets it down to Waters. Lawson comes away from the middle with dash, then stumbles. That was bad luck. As a result, the ball spilled free. Laidley against the flow was taken high. Dean Laidley standing his ground as he always will, getting this free kick. Shadows reaching right across the ground from those white pylons. Hyman gets it across to Stevens, who boots inside the attacking 50. Strange bounce. Roberts favoured by it. Couldn't believe his good fortune and fumbled. Bryce applied a good tackle. We like his turn. Lewis goes over the top. McMahon comes away. In the back pocket. High kick towards the wing. Gray will need to fly. And he does. Couldn't control it, though. Osborne tried to push it through the pack. Now Gray. This is Lawson. A sweeping hand pass inside to Cresswell, who measures the kick and goes for space. Minton Connell runs to this space and marks about 45 metres from goal. And in this area earlier in the day, he kicked his second goal. Let's see what he can do from here. He's got 3 in total this afternoon. And this to pull the margin back to 40 points. It's ebbing and flowing around 40 at the present time. It was 41, as Peter was saying at halftime. It's out to 46 now. So a dismal second term really has sunk the Swans to date. It will take something special for them to get back. Minton Connell deliberately slides it across the face, and it's a behind.
3-4 for him, Dennis.
And Alex Oshenko is back onto the ground with Bryce doing some damaging work in the centre while he was off. And the player to come off to replace so that Oshenko could come on is Wayne Swass, who's had a very quiet day.
And has had a couple of stints on the bench too. Earlier one was fairly short. Oshenko, there he is, and Lawson over the top, punched it away. And that brought the roars from the crowd. Loose ball to be won on centre wing now. Going at it pretty solidly was Werner and McMahon. Roberts, Stevens. Stevens from left centre wing. Kick is to half forward. And there's a free kick. Carey's come down with the ball. Might be a free kick for Sydney.
Lawson's hurt too, but he fell from a great height.
We got up to punch it over Oshenko's head. That's not bad. Lewis from Waters at midfield. Up towards right forward pocket. Swans with the numbers, but North Melbourne's defence equal to it. And it's out of bounds. Let's see what happened to Jamie Lawson here. Landed on awkwardly on an ankle, it looks like. Let's hope he's okay. Still in the hands of the trainers out there on centre wing.
And look at his right knee there, Pete.
It's even worse. Back with the play. Stafford. Laidley. Good shepherd by Scholl. Laidley straight down the corridor. It's up towards the centre circle. Longmire overruns it. Chance for Rose. Hand pass. Back to McMahon. He'll have to be quick, and he is. Kicks well the teenager to half forward. Over the top, Ross Smith. It's a foot race. McRae and Laidley. McRae gets there first. Not too much on offer. Mooney finally. Shepherd applied by Creswell. Gives it back to that player. Century kick from him. Finds Waters. Too far out to score. The edge of the centre square. There's the siren. Well, he's going to have a kick. Well, he need to be Billy Brownless or going back further, Dave McNamara to kick this. Spiral punt, not a bad sort of an effort. Oh, gee! Off off the hands and a behind. Oh, great kick. Travelled 70 metres. So behind to Sydney right on the three-quarter time siren. They trailed by 41 points at half-time. Jamie Lawson limping, but back on his feet. And the Swans now trail 12-10, 82. North Melbourne 26-1-26.
The name of the game is Australia.
44 points the difference as we begin the final quarter. 20 goals 6 to 12 goals 10. And of that 20 goals for North, 10-4 came in the second term. Bryce up high, lands on his back. Waters with Pyman to McMahon. Fear of Stevens. Martin tries to punch the ball clear. Ramiro takes the rebound onto Roberts, who's been good again today. He's kicked 3 goals. Pyman in front. Bays at the back takes another spec. He took a beauty in the second quarter, I think it was. The top mark over Carey. Mooney. Close proximity at the boundary line, right centre wing. Laidley in from the side, big fly, nearly brought it down to Osborne is there. Gets around his teammate in Werner. Long hand pass, Lewis could have sold him into danger there. Snapshot by Lewis is off target. It props, goes right up in the air, but Mann grabs it, and it's through for one behind.
Good running by Dale Lewis. Had run all the way down from the back pocket.
Kelly on the boundary. 43 points the difference. Ross Smith brings the ball back into play. Tough down defender. Punch away. Roberts to Martin. Martin's kick long and high. Over the top Bays. Carey was up high as well. Didn't get a sniff. Stevens a little bit slow. Got a nudge in the back. Flips it out to Pyman. Pyman onto his left foot. Long in towards half forward. McAdam a chance. Knocked away by Lewis. Bays with McAdam. McAdam into his back. He's over the boundary line. Both players looking for free kicks. None there. Throw in.
Mark Bays has done a pretty good job on Wayne Carey. Again, just using his body very cleverly as Carey went to set himself at that mark, and Bays just put him off his balance.
Swans have the only score of the term. Behind, it's thrown in. North's attacking half-forward flank. The ball comes back towards the wing. Ashenko knocks it forward. Price was in front of him. Waters, the man who initially sent it out, flicks it back through his legs. Picked up by McAdam. Waters had a hand to it. Ramiro in the tackle was taken high. He'll get the free. Ramiro, about 65 metres from goal, goes looking for Carey, and Carey in front doesn't let him down.
Yes, that kick just deceived everyone. It dropped a lot shorter than everyone was expecting. They're waiting for the big long bomb. Ramiro's not a renowned long kicker of the football. And Carey, obviously knowing that, was in front and took advantage.
He's going after his 4th here. Longmire's got 4. Quite often they start alongside each other and set off in different directions. That time they were close when Carey completed the mark. He stabs at Goldwood and gets it. So 4 goals to Wayne Carey, the skipper. Hasn't had a lot of the ball, but he's been all class again today. So important to this side. And North Melbourne skip away to lead. 21-6 to 12-11 in the early going of this final term.
Yes, Ramiro pushing that ball forward. He's had a fairly quiet day, just 9 and 5. And Carey, his most prominent contribution are those goals that he has kicked in 4, as Dennis mentioned.
7 kicks to Wayne Carey, and he has got 4 goals. Not a bad effort. That one was a real mongrel punt off the boot, but it got the desired result for his 4th. 4-1 this afternoon. Ashenko back in ruck. He'll go against Bryce, who comes in a little bit from the side. Interesting the way he does that. It's down to Waters from the North Melbourne ruckman. Minton Connell tracks it to the boundary. Crocker's right there with him. Tries to keep it in play. Succeeds in doing that. Martin stumbles. Chance for Werner. He'll try to get it to Osborne. That didn't work. And the ball over the boundary line in front of Aussie, about 15 metres from the behind post. So boundary throw in. Mann at the back. Mooney, quick kick. Stafford. Stevens, well tackled by McRae, not going anywhere. And the umpire will be forced to bounce it. Martin just pointing to a loose player there, suggesting one of his teammates man up. That's been done. Over the top, Dunkley has knocked it through for a rush behind. Better known as a defender. Smith to Ramiro. Ramiro from a standing start. His kick out into the sunshine. McMahon was at the back. A chance for Sydney now to go further forward, which they do. Ball booted up towards their half-forward line. That's as far as they're going. North through Laidley. Kick up towards midfield. Mark has been taken by Brunton. He gives it away to Bryce, who can kick the ball long. This one, no exception. Gets plenty of distance with that up towards half-forward. Ball fisted away into the arms of Ramiro, who fumbles and then stumbles over the top of it. Laidley again takes the hand pass. It's out towards the edge of the square. Doesn't bounce too kindly for Allison. Stevens does better. McAdam. Longmire. McAdam reads it beautifully off the pack. Very skilled in a situation like this. Perfect goal.
Back in the centre, Bryce has been inclined to jump early, and Ashenko is not happy about all of that. He's changed his tactics. He comes in from a similar side. Bryce reaches over the top, dumps it down towards half-forward. Waters in trouble, was taken high, and will get the free kick. Scott Waters inside the centre square, midway between the centre circle and right centre wing. Well, that says it all, really. Nothing on down the ground. There's McRae offering something. Waters eventually goes for distance. Minton Connell is there. Stafford works his man under the ball and then comes back. Alongside him was Osborne, who got the ball, but in the meantime there's a free kick going North's way, and it's been paid to Crocker down there. So Crocker in the back pocket sends play high towards the wing. Big leap by Pyman. It's paid. Pyman feeds the hand pass off. Storming around the outer side is Smith. He's on the wing. He chips for space. Carey runs to it. Couldn't hang on. Well played by Bayes to slap it away, and again gets it out of bounds. So I suppose when you look at the result card here and you see that Carey has booted 4 goals, you'll say he's won this contest decisively, but it hasn't been one-sided. Bayes has stuck at his task. 22-6 to 12-12. It's thrown in. Knocked away by Bayes. He gains about 15 metres and the ball goes out of bounds. Under 19 minutes till full time. Even first term, probably Sydney had the best of it. They certainly did on the scoreboard. They led by 4 points. It could have been more, but they were blitzed in the second term, and North Melbourne posted 10 goals for. Ball close to the boundary line once more. Lewis goes in strongly. Is he holding the ball? Must have been close. He's not penalised.
So a bounce just inside the boundary on the outer side. Sydney's last home game for the year won't result in a win, but North Melbourne still chasing top spot, and if they win today, and that looks a foregone conclusion now, and next week they will take top spot on the ladder. And one of the most amazing seasons. Trying to pick the top 6 is like trying to pick lotto still, isn't it? Now German gives it to Ramiro. Into an open goal. And touched right on the line. Good effort there by Robert Neal. I thought it might have cleared him. And Jose not too happy. It was so close. So another behind to the Roos. Ramiro has kicked 1-1 out of the North Melbourne tally of 22-7. One quarter of football not good enough. Rose has taken the mark. Should be paid and is. And we've got one of the shins, I think. So quickly goes for the hand pass. On to Lewis. Lewis's kick up towards centre wing. One-on-one duel. Blakey and Osborne, former Fitzroy teammates. Blakey, with his 150th game today, takes it over the boundary line, and Mickey Martin liked the effort. It's at centre wing. Bryce in front. Not a decisive tap out. The refrigerator. Roberts to half forward. Good mark to Archer. Got a good pair of hands and a good leap. Seen most of him this year in defence. He's lined up on some top players too. Spiral punt kick to the front of the goal. Lewis tries to punch away. Bayes through the pack rather than over it. German to Smith. Oh, will he kick a goal? The defender. Oh, he has. Now it's hit the post. And one behind. Kicked by Ross Smith, like Rod Carter's only goal here at this ground. I'm sure he remembers it well. 22-8. Here's the score. Needless to say, that's his first score of the day, and Mark Bayes will bring the ball back when he gets it.
So here's Mark Bayes then. Best and fairest in 89 under Cole Kinnear. Goes slightly towards the outer side. Juggled attempt out there by Longmire. German feeds it back. Smith goes goalward again down towards the kickoff line. Bayes did pretty well in a tight situation. He's outnumbered off the ground by Carey. It's just over 16 minutes then remaining in this game. Bryce and Ashenko. Bryce did well again. Got it down to Lawson. Waters. The hand pass was charged down. Now he's got problems. Slung. Got the hand pass out wide but to no one. Schwass storms through, running onto the loose ball from 60 metres out. Telling kick. Longmire didn't mark it. It just spilled out as he came down. It was flicked across the line by Rose. It's John Longmire who's booted 4. 23-9 to 12-12. Lewis kicks in. Lawson takes the mark, hits the ground running. Forward of half back, chips towards the wing, and Mooney, raw-boned young man with a fair degree of talent, feeds it back to Lawson, running down towards half forward. Now it needs a finish here. He goes to the pocket. Minton Connell. Well, he led wide. It was a pretty good kick. He honoured the lead. And now Minton Connell finds himself deep in the left full forward pocket with 3 goals alongside his name.
Lawson moving okay if he's injured.
Yeah, he has on the last couple of occasions. This is McRae. It's good work by Sydney on the forward line, leaving a big hole for one of their forwards to lead into when Minton Connell was prepared to release the ball. This was the man who did it, and as a result he's kicking a goal from about 25 metres out. Dean McRae, goal number 13 for the Swans, and he's got it. The Swans are 13-12. The Kangaroos are 23-9.
And like some of his teammates, Dean McRae's found it a bit hard to get into this game. He's had played in fits and starts. He's had, let me see, 12 and 5. And with that goal now, it's a reasonable return, but not enough from a player like that whose mobility and run and skill is needed to lift this team. And as I said, he's got plenty of teammates in the same areas. I think Carey has just gone off. Yes, he has. And Brett Allison is to come on.
Carey seems to be okay, left under his own steam.
10 Sydney players have now scored goals. They've shared them around. Only 2 multiple goal kickers. Paul Bryce 2 and Simon Minton Connell 3. He's actually kicked 3-4. Back to the centre. Again, North Melbourne win it out of there. Stevens inside the square. Probing kick up towards full forward. 1-on-1 duel. And in fact, it's cleared the line for a goal. Great kick. That's his second. And North Melbourne get the very quick reply. 24-9. Great kicking, isn't it, to 13-12.
Yes, it is, Pete. This is the perfect way to get a goal at the Sydney Cricket Ground. Centre bounce tap. Roberts, who's done very well today, and Stevens from the 50 into the 50-metre square, I should say, not the 50-metre line, kicks a very, very direct goal. Perfect play.
Wayne Carey looks on. Just being stretched down there, I think. He's done his job. Finished 6th in the Brownlow last year. A nice indicator for this season. He's missed a bit of football, but some of the prime candidates were ineligible, of course. And Carey certain to be amongst it. Look at Lawson with courage. Oh, too much courage for his own good. He was met head-on by Schwass. Back comes Lawson. And it's going to be a free kick to McRae, who was almost a spectator to all of that. Great stuff by Jamie Lawson, one of the smallest men on the ground. He stands by and watches McRae boot it into the forward line. Well done by Crocker. It was a timely fist to all intents and purposes. That ball was almost on the chest of Minton Connell. Now it's deflected. I thought off a boot down there.
Off the back of man, I think, Dennis.
Okay, so it'll be thrown in. A couple of players appealing for out of bounds on the full, but that ball striking man and just crossing the line. There's McRae again in the action in the last few minutes. Hand passes it straight to Laidley, one of the best on the ground. He needs to be careful. Mooney was bearing down on him, and the ball goes out of bounds. That sort of fumble can result in a rather bad injury. He fumbled the ball in front of his body and went after it again, and the player was arriving at full steam. Knocked forward by Mooney, plucked out of mid-air down there by think it was Cresswell, or is it McMahon? It's going to be a ball up. McMahon, I think, will pick himself up. The youngster in his first game. That's Ross Smith. There's McMahon. He's got reason to be happy with this debut, as we've said a couple of times. He's still at school. He's learned some lessons out there today. He's got the ball and some company. 13 possessions to Gavin McMahon. So in the shadows of the Bradman stand, these rucks go at it, knocked forward by Mooney towards the pocket. Out comes Minton Connell, lost it. Crocker comes away with it, boots it back towards midfield. Sydney in best position, and Lewis, who's probably had more possessions than any other Sydney player, takes the mark and goes short to Gray. Lewis, 19 kicks, 4 hand passes, and here's Gray, who kicked from just outside the 50. 24 goals, 9 North Melbourne, and Sydney are 13-12, so the margin 63 points. This to pull it back to 57. Gray close to the man on the mark. The kick not quite the carry. Minton Connell, the flyer, got hands to it. Cresswell is dragged across the line by Blakey.
No score. It's going to be a bounce. Only a couple of metres from the line. In Sydney's full forward position. So the ploy, obviously, for the North Melbourne Rucks to rush it through, one would think. It's going to be man against Bryce, and in fact that's just what they do. I think it was Schwartz to finally punch it through, so I'll rush behind to Sydney. 13-13, 26 effective scoring shots to 33, and it's going to be Ross Smith to kick the ball back. And they kicked a goal earlier in the quarter. It wasn't to be. 11.5 minutes left in the match. It's going to result in a good win for the Roos, but with some of the younger players showing a bit today, I think Ron Barassi would be pleased, especially with the first quarter. The second he wouldn't be too happy about. Hyman trying to break clear, but it's a mark, not a free kick, so no advantage can be paid. Stevens gives it to Scholl now, and away they go. This is Laidley from Man. North Melbourne had the numbers, but Lawson only had his head pulled off, and he'll take the free kick. Doesn't lack anything in courage. He might lack a bit of height, one of the smallest players in the competition, and he gives everything. This is Mooney. German runs at him, over to Gray. He'll give it back to Mooney, who saw Laidley and then went for the hurried hand pass. Back to Mooney again from Brunton, and eventually kicking from pretty well a standing start position. McRae takes the mark inside 50. Maybe about 40 metres from goal. Dean McRae's kicked 1 goal today for Sydney. 13 kicks, well, that's not too bad. 6 hand passes, so coming in for his 20th possession or disposal. And it could be his 2nd goal.
See that right thumb heavily strapped. It has been broken about 2 weeks ago.
It's close to the man on the mark. End result of which is either one behind or out of bounds on the full. I think it's out of bounds, it is. So Man will take the free kick for North Melbourne in the right back pocket. Man goes straight down the corridor. Archer and Gray. And again, North Melbourne first to recover. Kick away is by German. Up to McAdam at half forward.
Tries to find Romero. He's surrounded. Good shepherd there by Dunkley. Put some space for Werner, who got it to Lewis. And now Mooney is getting amongst the thick of things now. Very short and finds Cresswell. Cresswell towards the pocket. Bryce comes on a lead and marks about 35 metres from goal. His margin out to 62 points. And Bryce in an awkward position, being a left footer, will take a pretty clever kick from here. He's tried pretty hard today. Giving up some size to Alex Ashenko on the ball. The Breeze pushes this ball across the goal face. They'll contest in the opposite pocket. Cresswell the flyer through his hands and out of bounds. Well, Ron Barassi can only contemplate what might have been had they been able to follow up that good start. They couldn't. We talked about how important that was. Well, today they got the good start, but the second quarter sunk them. This is Schwass coming away. Boots it back to midfield. McAdam's in front. Lewis drawn under the ball by McAdam. It runs free behind. Rose tries to knock it across to Brunton. That was ill-directed. McAdam kicks it back inside the 50, and Alex Ashenko comes up. He doesn't kick too many goals. He's got a chance to kick one right here. It'll be the 25th if he gets it for North and extend their break to 68 points.
Yes, well, Ashenko actually is as good as any other ruckman in the league at the moment for kicking goals. He's just kicked the 6th for the season. He doesn't mind popping one through.
Here he is then. He didn't pop that one through. And as we said at the outset, well, Peter made the point. We named names here.
That's the worst hand pass I've got today.
He is well and truly trussed up. Alex Ashenko, not Peter. I think if you saw him in the mounting yard, you'd prefer others.
Yes, I drew a different analogy, as you were nearly going to point out again.
No, I wasn't. It's Lewis. He kicks it to himself, runs on, gets the ball in the pocket.
This is Brunton. Brunton at right half back into the sunshine on the outer side. Quick hand pass from Neil. McRae nearly brought down to the tackle. Centering kick. Martin could have tried to punch, but marks over Werner at half back. He's got McAdam on offer. He'll mark it. Oh, well, under normal circumstances, he would have got a free kick. Lawson has given it away, but, gee, terrific endeavour to get there because McAdam looked to lay down Mazaire to drag that one down. Allison in front, can't mark. Good attempt to mark again by Neil. And North Melbourne tied up just outside 50. Now, they love Jamie Lawson up here. Has got some sort of injury, but in the marks, oh, Sydney, that stat seems to be okay. A few others have let themselves down. Lawson again from Pyman to Bays. Bays kicks long. Martin in front. Werner this time knocks it away from him. Gray onto Osborne. Osborne inside 50 or outside 50. Tackle late was by Blake. He didn't quite get him. Minton Connell, good speed, and takes the mark 35 metres from goal. Been a little inaccurate today, Simon. He's kicked 3 goals, 4. He would like to have done better. Good acceleration there. Coming in for kick number 10. He's taken a pretty long run. Pops it onto the boot. OK, goal umpire doesn't move. He's now kicked 4 goals, 4.
So North Melbourne lead it by 57 points. And if my calculations are correct, they'll be back on top tonight. Back in the middle, one down by Roberts. Never quite sure with the match ratio as Waters gets it away. This is Mooney. Out it comes to Dunkley. Dunkley boots it inside the 50. In front, Cresswell. Opportunity for Osborne. Well done. McMahon. Nicely done by the youngster as well. Gets it across to Werner. Werner kicks and misses. Well, the build-up was terrific. And we talk about the league ladder. What a terrific finish to the season the final round will be. Every position in the 6 could change, and 2 sides outside the 6, Geelong and Collingwood, could force their way in. It all starts on Friday night. All the action will be covered by 7 Sport. A grand finale to a terrific season. The ball on the outer side. Minton Connell goes up, fists it forward. Flicked on by Mann. Schwass out wide to Stevens, who goes over the top. This is Pyman. Pyman forward of half-back. Goes down towards half-forward. Longmire camps in front. Fisted away. Only as far as Allison, who pulls it back. Intelligent kick. McAdam dropped the mark. He's surrounded by teammates. A little too clever by half, that one. He tried to get it to Schwass, and the moment had been lost. And it ran away from Schwass and went out of bounds.
Right forward pocket for North Melbourne. McAdam 3 goals, 1 today. Schwass hasn't scored a goal. McAdam again a chance. Werner keeps it clear of him. Scholl in trouble. Gets the hand pass away effectively. Snap at goal is by Stevens and puts it through. So Stevens has kicked his 3rd. And another percentage boosting goal for the Roos, 25-10. We watch it in replay.
Yes, good tackle there by Swash. Just put Sydney players under pressure there. And this kick by Stevens, very good. Another standing kick like Germans was in the earlier quarter. They're not easy, as I mentioned. And he's done very well today. Been very consistent, Anthony Stevens.
I think Dennis was trying to work out percentage. We're all members of the anti-match ratio part of the ladder, though, so if you can work that out, good luck at home. And Pyman with the charge. The ball back to the circle, onto Martin. Martin kicks up towards half forward, ill-directed, and the mark taken for Sydney down there by Robert Neal.
A player of promise, and he goes to another. This is Mooney on the outer side. There are some heartening signs for Sydney. Some of these young players seeing plenty of the ball now. And it seems the policy up here is to play them and keep playing them and let them learn as Brunton goes around the outer side. There's a push in the back.
Yes, played that way.
It's Dean Laidley's free out there, and he's been one of their better players today, and it's good to see him back and finding some form in the run to the finals. He's been unlucky in recent seasons with the West Coast Eagles. A new home with North, and of course into the finals once more. Allison, I thought, was pushed in the back. Nothing doing, and socket out of bounds and will be thrown in. I think the soccerer there was Scott Waters, who missed the finals as well for the West Coast Eagles, but he's had a different sort of season to Dean Laidley. It certainly will end in a different fashion. He won't be seeing any finals action.
He hasn't had as many injuries as he had with the Eagles, Dennis.
No, that's true. There's McAdam. Gets it across to Pyman. There's a silver lining, Pete. It comes down towards the kickoff line. Fisted away down there by the big fellow Stafford. Picked up by Ramiro. There seems to be a whistle in the crowd down there. Lawson, meantime, oblivious to that, is working hard again. He's been terrific. His career was at the crossroads about a month ago. He's worked his way into this side. He's consolidated his place, and he's done very well. I think he was recalled against Essendon at the last moment. Somebody pulled out with injury. He came in, and from that time on, he hasn't looked back.
9 and 8 today, but he's been spectacular with his running. And as we mentioned, he certainly doesn't lack any courage. Over the top is Archer, McMahon, Gray, McRae. Close proximity of the boundary line. Laidley off the ground. And out of bounds. In front of the Bill O'Reilly stand. The last part of the stadium bathed in sunshine. Been a terrific day weather-wise in Sydney. Spring is in the air. Roberts over the top. Schwass. Now a chance for Allison, who snares it after that tackle. Yashenko, McAdam lazily drops it onto his boot and pops it through for another goal.
It's a free kick coming back, I think, Pete, against Yashenko's going to Stafford. And that was before McAdam actually had his ping at goal.
Uncanny the way he kicked the goal, though, wasn't it?
He's tried that type of shot 3 or 4 times today.
Well, that whistle I heard, I thought was in the crowd. Dennis said there is one there somewhere. Kick away by Neal.
Might be the stadium next door, Pete.
It's not the antique show. So another bounce next to the CUB side on centre wing. Clock ticks down. We've got a minute and a half to go before full time. It's going to be a good win to North Melbourne. And if they can win next week as well, they'll take top spot. Dunkley gets it onto Creswell.
Creswell chips it down towards half forward. And Mooney, he's been good since half time. Good size. Short. Osborne made to earn it by Blakey. So approaching the last minute, 25-10 to 14-14. The second term, a 10-goal blitzkrieg as far as North were concerned, has set up this victory. This is Smith hard against the boundary line. Gets it away. This is German. German towards the wing. Up goes McRae. He's tried hard. Juggles the mark against his old team. Dean McRae goes out wide to Waters. About to have his 22nd disposal. Scott Waters goes for distance from 60. Not a good kick. It falls in short. German in front has paid the mark. German across the ground to Schwass. One of his best days to Roberts towards the wing. Scholl is going back. Couldn't complete the mark. Martin comes across to assist him. Paddles it down towards half forward. Well done by Rose. Coming across on the angle. Oh, that's tricky. He kicks it down towards half forward. Laidley uses his body behind, enabling Roberts to have a run at the ball. There's the siren. Hyman finishes up with it, and North finish up with the points. 25-10, 160. Well, certainly a far cry from what they achieved back in round 6 when they got 35-19 and amassed 229 points. Today they've been better held by Sydney. I suppose you can measure the improvement there, but still Sydney have a long way to go. 25-10 to 14-14.